Hello, everyone. Welcome to Beyond the Limb podcast by Afian Health. As you know, it's a podcast where we look at the people's stories and individuals taking part in the prosthetic rehabilitation, particularly here in Nigeria. My name is Chijoke Hamefla. I am your host.
Thank you for having me, sir. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Emmanuel Ifeanyi, and I'm a certified prosthetist and an orthotist at Afian Health Orthopedics.
Okay, thank you for having me. It's nice to be here. I'm Paul Abimbola Oyedokun. I am an orthopedic technologist and also a certified prosthetist and orthotist from the Medical Rehabilitation Therapist of Nigeria. I am a first aider and certified by the Postgraduate Institute for Medicine and also a researcher. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. So, thank you very much for introductions and thank you very much for coming on board. Now, for our listeners or the laymen who may not be aware of what a prosthetist and orthotist is or what they do, could you just enlighten?
All right, thank you for your question, sir. Prosthetist and orthotist, they are two different professionals altogether, and what they do is different. But here in Nigeria, we merge the two professions together. So a prosthetist, just think of a fake leg or a fake hand, something that is not real. So what we do as a prosthetist is that we assess, design, and fabricate a device that replaces the missing one. Following amputation, if the hand is not there, the leg is not there again. So what a prosthetist usually do is that they design a device that suits in to replace the missing one. But for orthotists, what they do is just that think of a body part that is painful or that is weak. Then that needs a device that will support that region that needs support. So what a orthotist does is that they design, assess, and fabricate a device that supports or strengthen a weakened body part. All right, thank you for your question, sir. Prosthetist and orthotist, they are two different professionals. All right, thank you for your question, sir. Prosthetist and orthotist, they are two different professionals altogether, and what they do is different. But here in Nigeria, we merge the two professions together. So a prosthetist, just think of a All right, thank you for your question, sir. Prosthetist and orthotist, they are two different professionals altogether, and what they do is different. But here in Nigeria, we merge the two professions together. So a prosthetist, just think of a fake leg or a fake hand, something that is not real. So what we do as a prosthetist is that we assess, design, and fabricate a device that replaces the missing one. Following amputation, if the hand is not there, the leg is not there again. So what a prosthetist usually do is that they design a device that suits in to replace the missing one. But for orthotists, what they do is just that think of a body part that is painful or that is weak. Then that needs a device that will support that region that needs support. So, all right, thank you for your question, sir. Prosthetist and orthotist, they are two different professionals altogether, and what they do is different. But here in Nigeria, we merge the two professions together. So a prosthetist, just think of a fake leg or a fake hand, something that is not real. So what we do as a prosthetist is that we assess, design, and fabricate a device that replaces the missing one. Following amputation, if the hand is not there, the leg is not there again. So what a prosthetist usually do is that they design a device that suits in to replace the missing one. But for orthotists, what they do is just that think of
Good. So, following up on our discussion on orthotists and orthosis, what happens when you meet a patient for the first time who requires an orthosis? What is the assessment procedure? How do you go about that?
Okay. Thank you for the question, sir. The assessment starts from that moment you set your eye on the patient. So when you see the patient, you need to know your anatomy. So if there is something that is off, you will know. If there is any deviation, you will know. And most time you won't see it until you touch, until you assess physical assessment. So the assessment starts when the patient walks in. Sometimes if the patient walks with the knee bend, inflection, you know something is wrong with the knee. So when you see that one gives you the likelihood of what is off in the patient. So when the patient comes for assessment, some of the things we check for is we check a lot of things. So you check for the joint range of motion, depending on what the patient presented with.
What does the joint range of motion mean?
Okay, well, joint range of motion means the movement in the joint. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, for this elbow joint, you can do like this, you can do like this.
Okay.
So we call it flexion and extension.
Okay, good.
So this movement in this joint is the joint range of motion. So if the joint range of motion is restricted, if you can't have that full extension, meaning something is wrong.
Yes.
So sometimes it might be pain. If there is pain on the knee and the pain is excruciating that the patient cannot bear. So when the patient comes, if you try to move the knee joint, there is pain. So because of that pain, the person try not to extend further. So when you check all this, you know what is wrong. So the assessment, you check for your joint range of motion, you check for muscle strength. So muscle strength means the power of the muscle. For example, you drag, the person can drag. Though it differs, we don't expect the muscle strength of Baba of 90 years old.
Yes,
someone
true.
That is
it's just young. Yes.
So you check for the muscle strength. Then aside muscle strength, you check for the skin tone. Sometimes some underlying issue they affect the skin. You see this color, it changes in color. You know something is wrong underneath. So you check for joint range of motion, muscle strength, skin tone. Then another thing you check for is we have a scale for pain.
Okay. How does that work?
Okay, for example, if the patient walks in, if you try to press on that part that is painful, or even before you start your assessment, you ask this question from a scale of 0 to 10. Let's take 5 to be the mid, like the normal. 0, no pain at all. 10, the pain is so much like you can die from the pain. So rate your pain. So this gives you the idea of how painful the condition is. So if someone is saying the pain is like 8, you know the pain is much. But if you have something like 4, 3, you know, okay, the pain is there, but it's manageable. So all these are the assessment that we do when we assess patients for.
Good. Thank you, CPO Paul. Now to you, CPO Emmanuel. Let's talk about prosthesis. Now, what determines the type of assessment you give a patient to determine the right type of fitting for the patient's prosthetic or artificial limbs?
Okay, thank you very much for this question. So, when assessing a patient, the first assessment is going to start when you see your patient walking in. However, your patient comes in, is he wheelchair, is he crutches? That's where your assessment starts from. Then this allows you to see the level of activity that the patient is being engaged in. So when you have access to the patient, you ask the patient questions. A very important part of assessment is being able to listen. You have to be patient enough for your patients or whoever it is that is explaining to give you full explanation, because whatever they say is what we work with first before we do our own physical assessment. So listening to patients is very important, it's a very key factor. Then after you don't listen, after they give their own. So this is when the patient comes in, they give us the subjective assessment. ask them questions about their age, about their activity levels, where they're from. So all this basic information gives us the overall expectation of this patient. You ask them, what do you want to use this leg to do? Do you climb the steps? How is your house like? Is it smooth terrain? Is it an uneven terrain? So they give you an idea of what they want. So you know their expectations, you will know what they can do. As well, you will know their pockets financially.
Exactly.
All of these things really matters in assessment. And then when it comes to the objective, this is where we come in and do the physical assessments. It's part of the physical assessments where we touch the patient, we touch the stump, feel if there's any pain, palpation. All of these things really is really necessary. We check the range of motion. So we also use this what we call the K levels to check their activity level. It's from K0 to K4. So we use this to determine how active they are and also the expectation. So and also we check for if the stump is matured. Most times, especially for primary patients, there's something called bandaging, which they don't really do. So we advise our patients immediately after surgery, during the wound healing, bandage your leg. This helps to keep the shape. So during assessment, we also tell them, if you've not been doing bandaging before, it's time to start. Teach them how to bandage. All of these will help the end result of a prosthesis. So it helps in the assessment.
So CPO4 and CPO Emmanuel, this is a question that came from one of our audiences where they asked what factors actually influence the selection of a prosthesis. And why can't they get it immediately? Why is this something they can just get off the shelf? They always believe it's something they can come today and get today and go today.
You can buy like
like trousers and shirts. You get the idea. So that question has come up a lot of times altogether. Then also after that, we'd like to find out the stages from assessment down to prosthetic fitting. What goes involved? What's involved in all these stages altogether? I think this will throw more light to that question so that our audience, our patients can understand exactly what goes into it. So at least we can dissuade that question where can I get it today? Is this something I can get today? So please,
all right, thank you for the question. Yes. It's a practical question. Just 2 weeks ago we had a patient like that came for assessment and was like, thought I will get it today. I thought you just take my measurement and you go to inside your workshop and bring one leg.
2 hours, just bring it.
So it's practical question. But like I said earlier, this device, they are customized. Because if you take a look at, even if you have two twin brothers, if you look at them with their body physiology, like their structure diverse, the anatomy diverse. Some might have bow leg, another might have K leg, another might have a prominent bone at the bony prominence. So they diverse. So all these factors is what we put into consideration to make a customized device. So our device, the artificial leg, like I said earlier, fake leg. Some is not real, it's just replacing the missing one. But it has to be comfortable. Because if it's not comfortable, you won't even be able to use it. And for it to be comfortable, we need to customize it to suit your own body, not another person. So some of the factors that influence our component selection and device fitting, I will break it down into 3 factors. The first one is the person's factor, which is the patient factor. The second one is the clinical or the medical factor. Then lastly, the functional factor. So the person factor is that how old is the patient?
Age determines.
Yes, because for someone that is just 20, 30, 40, 50, we expect those kind of patients to be active. That's the time you want to move around. Imagine someone that has a family, young guy that lost his limb in an accident. You still want to cater for your family. You want to do 1 or 2. So you need a device that will help you to be active. Unlike someone that is 85. For this elderly patient or geriatric patient, all what they want is that I don't want my son, my daughter my caregiver to carry me to the toilet, to the restroom. I want to be independent. I want to walk just indoors. So we have the kind of device we make for people like that. So the age factor is part of the the person's factor I talked about earlier. The age. Another thing is that what do you want to use your device to do?
Okay.
Do you want to go back to your workplace? Which work do you do? Where do you stay? Is it upstairs? Is it downstairs?
Yes.
Which terrain? So all these things we put it into consideration. Another thing from the person's factor is how do your stump, your residual limb, how does it look like? Is there bony prominence? Is there your skin? How does it look like? So all these things they add to our component selection.
Okay, and just to add to the patient factor, the overall health of the patients, and also we also include lifestyle of these patients, because some patients, they drink, some they smoke, so all of this would factor in the component selection. So for patients that has maybe just no children, so what you give them, would you give them something that should be they using it themselves? But you have to consider, okay, how many children do you have? Are you married? Do you have anyone at home? Are you staying alone? Your house, is it a step? Is it uneven? Do you climb up? So all of these patient factors would determine the perfect
Device.
outcome for these patients.
Yeah.
So that's for the patient's factors. So you will continue for the other ones.
Yeah. So another thing is that the patient factor. Some people might want to even use their leg to enter beach.
Swimming pool.
Swimming pool.
Yes. Swimming pool.
So that now we start to consider waterproof device. So you get. So
you mean not all the devices are waterproof?
not all.
No, not all.
And that's a special type of customization again.
Exactly. So that's why we ask you all these questions. So what some people do is that they get two devices. One for the normal day-to-day activities. Another one that is waterproof. If I want to chill out with my friend, so I can use this to enter beach. I can use this
So
to
you get that question, can I bath it?
Yeah, it's very common. So basically, most of the process we do here is not waterproof because Nigeria, we want it covered. We want it to look like my skin. I don't want people to know. And what we use sometimes for modest material, you can't just be pouring water on it. Unlike the one that is naked. So this one. So we have different type of device for what you want to use. So let me go dive into the clinical factor. So the clinical factor, we now start asking questions like what level of amputation?
Okay.
If it is below the knee or trans tibia, just
like this.
below your knee. So we look at, is the stump long enough? Do you have a longer stump, or is medium, or is short? Even those short, we still have ultra short. So we look at these to determine the suspension we want to use. If you have a stump that is long, very, very long, we know, okay, this one, there is enough surface for us to suspend the device on your leg compared to someone that has a very short stump. So we put this into consideration. We put the cause of your amputation into consideration. Is it trauma? Is it diabetes? If it is diabetes, we know there is one peculiar issue with diabetic patients because their wound, they have compromised vascular system. So because of that, if you should give a device that cause another injury, you are adding to the problem of the person. So you ask for this question. And lastly, the functional factor, which is also basically determined by the patient. What do you want to do? How well do you want to use your leg? We have a patient that used the device to ride
bike.
Power bike.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
But we even use people that even use their device to even drive.
Yeah, we have people that use the device to climb tree. Farmer.
Yes, we have that.
So, and then another one is that we have a ankle. There's a woman that uses a talio adjust ankle.
Yes.
Like, what does that do?
You can use it for flat heel shoe. When you want to wear high heel shoe, you just adjust it to match the high heel shoe. So any footwear you want to use, if flat, if high, if medium, you just adjust your ankle.
Even for those that like to skateboard,
Yes.
the kind of foot that when you skateboard, it goes according to how you balance it. So all of these are there, different types of foods, different. So all of these will be considered a patient assessment. What kind of foods do you want? You want an energy response? You want a high profile food? Do you want a low profile food? You want just a regular one? So all of these, and also the costs. Pocket is very important in this. Based on the kind of economy we have in Nigeria, not everyone can afford. So whatever it is you can afford would give you what is still going to be very suitable for you, that is functional enough,
and that is affordable.
Affordable. That's why we are. I would say that's why we are the best, because we make sure that we give you the best. Still pocket friendly.
And what we do now is that we give you like 3 options.
Yes, 3 options.
3 options. This.
Okay.
So if you don't have this, you can go for the
next one.
If you don't have that one,
you can go for the That's a good idea.
But trust me, all are still very good. Very optimal. Not going to reduce your gait, not going to reduce the effect. It's going to be very, very perfect.
Yes, CPOs, thank you for the information you provided. That was exceptional. At least that's something that our patients can now look forward to whenever they see or discuss with us at the end of the day. So now let's move to an aspect I know that most people or most patients do not see, which are the stages of the prosthetic fitting and the fabrication process, particularly that fabrication process. Most people see you come, take a measurement. The next time they see you come again, is one leg is ready.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that also gives the standpoint that they feel that the leg is somewhere hidden in the office somewhere, and you just go and pluck it from somewhere and just come and give them. Can you lay down to them exactly what that fabrication process entails, so that they can get to understand that it's not them just coming for a measurement and seeing the leg after 4 or 5 days or 1 week or 2 weeks, but there's a stage to them seeing that altogether. Okay. I think we'll start with you.
Thank you. All right, thank you for the question. So the whole process starts from the assessment, because if your assessment is off, the device you will bring will be off. And so your assessment, you need to do it properly and make sure you know where your bony prominences are. You see if the stump is short, the residuals
is bony prominence for people to understand.
Okay, thank you. Bony prominence is just that part of the bone that is shooting out. For example, your wrist, there is a bone here that you can feel. So that's a bony prominence. Yes. You have it here, you have it on your knee, typically you have it at the end of the long bones. But for an amputee, if there is an amputation, meaning there is a bone that is cut
off, yes.
Yeah. So the end of that bone, is it shooting out, or you have enough tissue to cover it? Or you have enough tissue to cover the bone. So if the bone is hanging there, it's very, very prominent to the skin. So that's a bony prominence. If you should put any pressure on it, because the idea is for the person to bear weight, to stand on the device and use it to work. So if there's any pressure on it and the person is standing and work, there will be pain, and the person will not use the device. So the whole process starts from the assessment, then your component selection, where okay, there's a bony prominence here. How do we address it? Are you using a liner that will distribute the pressure evenly, or what do you want to do to address the bony prominence? So after that, the component selection. Now, the first stage of the prosthetic fabrication starts with your cast taking.
So what's cast taking process?
Okay, so the cast taking process is this is where we take the impression. It's called negative cast. We take the impression of the stump. You understand? So this gives us like a replica of the patient's leg. You understand? So that is what we now use, take it to the workshop, and then we work on. So the first stage, when it comes to cast taking, you take the measurements, you do the whole prep, you do your cast taking. After it's done, then during the cast taking, already you are taking note of your trim lines.
The trim line.
So trim lines, these are places, these are areas which we use, we mark it so that the patient it would be like a comfortable area. Sometimes where the patient would put the body weight. Sometimes like the PTB, the condyles, the posterior. Within medical words right now.
Yes, yeah, because I was about
something
to
that-
ask you what are these?
So these are the trim lines that we use. So trim line guide us in order to bring out the an optimal socket fabrication. So without the trim line, you just be doing a whole thing that might not be fit. Even if it is fit, there is no anchor. The trim line helps us to get that anchor, that carrier for the leg.
Just to add to that, think of the trim line as the end of your clothes, where the clothes finishes. If it is rough, it won't look good.
Okay.
So trim line is just that side that ends the prosthesis socket, like where it's having the contact with your leg. So we have different type of trim line, depends on what you want to work with. So you just take it as the end of your garment, the clothes you put on. So just round. And we are not here with a device we would have shown you.
But from this, I can now see why it is customized, because you're actually taking the measurement, or rather, the impression of a particular patient's stump.
Exactly.
So if that stump is what you're taking, that's what you're using to create the socket for that particular person. It's like you're custom building a shoe for a particular person. And I can now see how, because of that, I cannot give that shoe to somebody else to wear because it was made, let's say it was made for Paul, CPO Paul. Now giving it to somebody else to now wear might be virtually impossible because it was specifically printed for Paul at the end of the day. And I believe not all stumps are the same.
Yes.
So if they are not the same, this is where the custom fabrication actually comes in.
Exactly.
So these are parts people don't know about.
Exactly.
These are parts people don't know about.
And then the casting is very, very delicate, because if you miss it from your casting, no matter how effort you put to make a standard, a good looking device, it's not going to work out. Once you miss it from the cast taking, just like you said, it's just like we have contours.
So go ahead.
Think of having contours around the leg. The shape of my leg differs from you. So the only way to get all those contours, all those lines, everything on your leg is to wrap something around it, and that thing will now give you the impression of that leg.
So why then do you, okay, so if you do an impression of a leg, why then do you now have trim lines? Why don't you just take that same impression you just had and now transfer it to maybe the main thing the patient is going to use?
Okay.
Why do you trim? He said something about padding and removal. Why do you do all of that?
Okay. Also, all this comes to the type of prosthesis you are making.
Okay.
So for the trim line, like I said, just think of the edge of your garment. Yeah. So it now depends on the type of prosthesis you are giving. For a patient with AK, with above the knee, transfemoral, if you are making, is either you work with a quadrilateral socket. We have a type of socket called quadrilateral, or you work with ischial containment. So these two, the way you take their casting is different.
So what makes one a quadrilateral and what makes one an ischial containment?
Okay, thank you for that question. For quadrilateral, it's one of the ancient type of socket. It has 4 walls. It has the lateral, the medial, the posterior, and the anterior.
So 4 corners around, if you're doing it below knee, right?
No,
above knee.
Yeah.
Okay. So 4 corners around the stump. Okay.
The stump. It has those corners. So and typically it's not usually coming up to the ischial seat.
So when you mean the ischial seat being as close to where on the body?
Just think of you sitting down like this. We are sitting on the ischial seat.
Okay, your buttocks area.
your
there,
buttocks area.
Good.
So there is a tuberosity there that
You
sit
can
on.
bounce. That's your fleshiness around that
Exactly.
side. Okay.
So now when we make, for someone with above the knee
Mhm.
amputation, when we make the socket and you want to do, let's say, ischia containment socket. So now you go to that ischia seat, the bone here.
The bone there.
You make sure there is provision for it where the bone can sit on.
Sit on it. Okay, so now that's an understanding.
So if the bone, you either do it, we have ischia containment and there are two.
Ischia containment and
Ischia seat. The seat is on it, sitting on it.
Okay.
Then the containment, you can do it inside. But regardless, you do it in a way that it will not be painful. And what this helps us to do is that the main difference between quadrilateral and ischia containment is ischia containment comes up enough to
okay.
the ischia seat region and gives this ischia seat a room to play in your socket design. If you do quadrilateral, something that is very much common with quadrilateral is what we call medial rotation.
That it moves to the right or to the left?
To inside your body. If it is this side, it moves here. If it is this side, it's common because there is no extra support from the ischia region. So when the patient ambulates, when the patient walks around, most times it
turns. Okay, yes, I've seen cases
from the
like
socket.
That. Yes.
It turns.
It
turns either inward or outward. It's common with quadrilateral. But with ischia containment, we are working with this bone here. So this bone is now serving as a means of suspension.
Yeah, balance to prevent it
from rotating.
Good.
rotation.
So all this is what you know. There are some patients you can use quadrilateral for, it will work fine, and there are some you need to do ischia containment. But what we do mostly here is ischia containment because it's better we just give patient the comfort instead of you walking and using your hand.
Which makes a lot of sense. You wanted to say something?
Yes, and like he said, all of this is always going to be determined from assessments to know which is best for these patients. So when you have the assessment, you do the assessment. If the patient is fit for an ischia, you do. If the patient is not, then you do the other one. That's why there are options. Yes, so just add to what he said. So assessment is very important in all of these things. Once the assessment is done right, cast is done right, the rest is just going to be as smooth as you can tell. So then we'll just go back to thanks for the whole explanation. So we'll just go back to the preparation process. So after the negative cast taking the impression, then the holo is already out. Then we go do what we call pouring. This is when we mix water with POP to form like a paste. Then we pour the negative casts, so it sets, so it dries and hardens. So it takes about some hours, some days, depends on how thick you want it to be.
And the high quality of POP you are using.
Yes.
Yeah, some POP we use that we don't set.
So we'll find experience of some POPs that did not set.
Yes.
Wow. So but then we just found our way around it. So yes, so after the cast pouring, then there's something we call modification. This is also a very, very important factor, as important as cast taking is, modification is. Because if you take the right casts and during your modification you modify wrongly, then the patient will have an issue using that prosthesis. So from the measurement, that's why we do measurement even before the cast taking. So the measurements you take, the measurements you have, it's what you're going to replicate. Remember, the whole point of cast taking is to do what you measured, taking a replica of what you took already. So that cast taking is the replica of the leg. So when we're doing our modification, we're supposed to do our modification based on the measurements we got.
Yes.
And then we have to take notes. We have things we call pressure sensitive areas, pressure tolerance areas in the body. For a BK, we have different parts. For an AK, we have different parts. For different levels, they have their own. Even for the upper limb, different levels have different sensitive areas, different tolerance areas. So I won't dive deep in this information of that. So then after the whole process, then after the modification has been done, then we do what we call a check socket.
Okay.
So check sockets, this from the word check sockets, it allows us to check the fit of the patient when the patient wears the sockets. So we see how usually transparent, like like a glass where you can see through. So the check socket will be done. We use the oven. There's a process for it. Then when it's done, the patient will wear it. Then you can see where it's not in direct contact
With the socket.
with the socket.
Okay.
So you can, and the good thing about this check socket is that it is easily malleable.
So
You can
be
hit,
adjusted.
yes. So if it is not fitted well, you can hit and adjust. So after hitting and adjust until the perfect fit is. So if you hit and adjust, if the adjustment is too much, you can hit and reduce. So it gives this room for flexibility as well. So, and total contact. So whatever it is you want to see it through, then once that happens, then you now use that replica to form the go to the next stage, which we call the lamination stage. Sometimes we allow our patients to use the check socket for a while.
Yes. The main reason for that is, especially for primary users,
users.
we expect the stump to shrink, to reduce. For a secondary user, that has been active for years, we don't expect any
shrinkage
shrinkage at all. But for primary users, just few weeks, 2-3 weeks, you see
Yes,
the
it's
leg
been
has
active.
shrunk. Yeah. So what we use is this check socket. When you use it for that time and your leg shrink, so we now do the definitive socket to that shape.
Particular shape that we
Yes.
found.
Yes. So while your leg is shrinking, we are adjusting. While your leg is shrinking, we are adjusting. So after adjusting and after everything, then we pour on in that check socket. So we've already done the whole flexibility, the mobility already on that check socket. So once we pour on the check socket, it gives us the exact way your stump is that's presently. So even if there will be any reduction or any shrinkage, it won't be as it would have been. So it helps reduce wastage as well. Because imagine going straight doing the main socket, definitive socket, and in 2 weeks the patient is complaining that the leg is wobbling. You have to do another socket, which is more costs. So here we're even trying to save that much patient doing definitive socket for 3 times, 4 times by just doing the check socket. So check socket saves a lot of money, a lot of stress for the patient. So after the check socket has been done, then we take it to the workshop, pour, and then we prepare for lamination. So this lamination involves adding different chemicals, together to form this hardened thing. So we use the carbon fiber, we use the fiber mats, we use the stocking net, different materials. When you add everything together, do everything together, it forms a laminated socket, hardened socket that is almost unbreakable, only with excessive force. That's how hard it is. And based on your weight, no matter your weight, so based on your weight, we'll know how to make it durable for you. You understand? So this is after the lamination happens, then this is where we now do the components assembly.
Yes.
We have different types of assembly. We have the static. We have the bench alignment. So this is where alignment comes in. We have the bench alignment, we have the static, we have the dynamic. So the bench alignment, you just assemble your prosthesis. Then static alignment, the patient wears the device standing, you do your adjustment, and then dynamic alignment, the patient wears the device to move. So then you start correcting, making sure that the patient's gait is in accordance with how it should be, because every patient is an individual. So if you see anything wrong, if you see any gait deviation, then you correct it while the patient moves. So that's basically how we do from assessment to final fitting. So after that, then we do the covering, because here in Nigeria, if the patients want to cover their leg here, so we do the foam covering. After foam covering, then we do what we call good patient follow-up. It's still part of the whole stage, it's part of the whole process, because we are not just after giving you the device. It's not that we just laminate, fabricate, and then you're going. No, we do the follow-up, then we train you. Just imagine a child growing, like an infant. You learn how to do things. You learn how to crawl. You learn how to crawl, how to walk. You learn how to run. You take your first steps. This is how it is in our profession. So after giving the patient the device, you have to train the patient on how to use this device, which takes period of time, depends on the patient. It could take weeks, it could take months, it could take even years. Just think about the movies. You see people that use this device and you think, oh, it's easy. It's not easy. It's based on training, based on that motivation. They see the need to do this. They see that they have to train. If you don't train, you won't be perfect. So training is very important in this part of our work. Yes. So after training, and discharge patients and do proper follow-up, importantly.
So again, there's also a lot we've seen so far in terms of, like I said earlier, again, it still keeps coming back. Can I come today and go home tomorrow? I'm going for a wedding. In fact, can I pick it up and just go to the wedding? It shows that a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions about what a prosthesis is and how it's supposed to work. Aside from these two I just mentioned, what are some other misconceptions that people have come to you that you had to correct or sit down and discuss with them about it to give them better understanding, even at the very beginning stages during the fitting processes, or even at the end of the fitting once they are wearing the prosthesis? They might have that conversation that once they give them the leg, oh yeah, walk away. So I know there are various, but share what you have seen so far. Let's let people hear.
All right, thank you for the question. We have numerous misconceptions about our work. We have lots of them. Some people think we do surgery. Some people think you need to go under the knife to get the device. Okay, will the device be attached inside my bone? Will you give me anesthesia? Will I not feel pain? So we don't do surgery, though we have in the Western world we have a type of prosthesis now. It's called integrated prosthesis. It's passed into the bone, and you need to attach the other component outside. But the bone inside has a metal. That's our suspension. So it's done. But here we don't do that. So what we do is a device that just take a look like you getting a shoe. We've been using shoe. So it's what you can put on, you can don it, and you can doff it, you can remove it. So it's just like a device, and we have different means of suspending it, suspension system on your body. That's not going to pull off. We have different types. It's a topic for another day, I believe. So we don't do surgery, but we make a device that you can use and that will not slip off your body while walking around. So
to add, we have another misconception where a patient thinks that they get a leg and immediately running for a marathon or running a relay. Immediately they don't have to run. That's a very big misconception because our kind of rehabilitation takes weeks, takes months, and then adaptive rehabilitation even takes longer because you have to adapt, and adaptation does not just come within days, within weeks. It takes long. Let's take, for instance, a movie, where you see all these people using prostheses running, athletes. They did not just wake up and start. It took them a series of years behind the scene, which patients don't really see. People don't really see. You just see the outcome, and then you see patients sending you videos. We experience it now.
That one is even common. When they go online. What they do is that most of our patients they get videos of ambassadors. We have our ambassadors. People that you won't even know they use a device, but they've used it for years. So they get their videos and send to us. I want to walk like this today.
And you're like, how? So it's a they don't really understand. It takes time. So these are the things that they don't really understand. So and also some of our patients misconception for the AKs. They think that they can use the device to kneel comfortably, prayers.
Okay.
So we try to explain to them that, for the safety of this, don't do this. So and another misconception is people that not going for the waterproof, thinking they can use it to swim. That they can go to the beach with it.
Yes.
After all, it's my normal leg now. I go to the pool with my normal leg. Now, if this is a prosthesis, although it's a replica, I should be able to do this, I should be able to do that. So, these kind of things, we need to explain to them that it's not what it is, it's not what they think. So,
another one is that most of our patients, they think the device will do exactly as their normal leg.
Yes, I can see that happening.
yes.
And we cannot match, we cannot do what God did.
Truth.
God is the greatest architect, is the greatest prosthetist. There is a saying that says
Sculptor.
the best prosthesis is the one you don't have to make. This your leg
You
is the
mean
best
it
one.
itself, yes.
So when we now make the device, we are just trying to help you to come to close
Close to what it was.
to what it was before. So you can walk that people will not notice easily. You can walk and people will not know you have the device. But that doesn't eliminate the factor that you are using the prosthesis. So it can't be like.
So, considering Ifian Health and what we do at Ifian Health, what really makes your team unique, and that's the Ifian Health process itself. Then also, what really makes your team, the CPO team, and how they work in Ifian Health unique.
Okay, thank you for the question. Here in Ifian Health Orthopedics,
Bang, 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 bang. You say,
all right, thank you for the question. Here in Ifian Health Orthopedics, we have a lot of things that make us stand out in this sector. Is it from the multidisciplinary team, patient-centered care? We have a lot of them. Here in Ifian Health, it's not just us, it's not just the CPOs. We have in-house physiotherapists. We have them, they assist us with gait training. Even though we know as a prosthesis, we do the dynamic alignment. When you walk, we fine-tune the device to match your walking pattern, your gait. Regardless, we need physio to do the main gait training, the gait re-education. So this physio, what they do is that they make sure that we have gait circle. It starts from each strike to each strike. So we have the stance phase, we have the swing phase. So all this is what the physiotherapy team, they make sure our patients are well trained. So that even though when you are discharged from our center, as at that time you will be trained on how to navigate on smooth terrains, on even terrains. If you have staircase and in your place, maybe you stay upstairs, we make sure we train you on how to navigate staircase, inclined plane. So all these things is what multidisciplinary team help us to achieve.
So just as my colleague has already said, following the multidisciplinary approach, we also have what I would call one of the best. So our equipments, our tools, they are top notch because we have some tools. For instance, we have the post assembly. We have the 3D laser posture.
what is the process assembly? And this 3D laser posture. If you could explain more, to understand.
Okay, so the post assembly is an equipment that helps the prosthetist during alignment.
Okay.
So it assembles the alignment and then there is a line it draws. So it helps you. It helps your alignment. It helps you in alignment. So when the patient walks, dons the device, it is in a perfect position. That's what the post assembly does basically. And then the 3D laser helps when it comes to the static alignments. When the patient dons in the device and stands, there is a position, so it helps. However, these equipment, they are, for now, I can say that we are the only private institution that has this equipment. So it helps in alignment, it helps in postural balance and stability. It helps the patient to balance their weight when they stand, so that they are not just standing on only one leg. They're standing on the two legs. That's the sound limb. They are, and also the prosthesis. It helps to distribute weight. balance and stability. It helps in that as well. We also have different tools, different materials that we use, which is different. We use the carbon fiber for our lamination. Carbon fiber helps to give this reinforced kind of sockets. And when I mean reinforced, it is so reinforced that it hardly breaks, only with excessive force. So we also have different tools. We have the transfer apparatus. This helps us to transfer whatever it is, like you're using the check socket. So we transfer what is the check socket to the definitive socket without without altering the alignment and the strength itself. What the transfer apparatus also does for us. We also have the modernized oven. So our oven distributes heat round. We also have the industrial drilling machines. So we are equipped with the modernized tools and equipment that we need for a perfect fabrication from start to finish for a patient to ambulate. Even when a patient is walking, we also have the parallel bar, we have the inclined steps, we have the stone, just for patients that, we have some of our patients that are from the north, far parts, even people from outside the country, field engineers that have to go upstairs, climb sand and stones. So we have that kind of terrain. We have the stony terrain, we have the sandy terrain. Some parts of the north is just sand. There's no clear ground. So we train our patients on how to walk on these kind of surfaces. This will help them to navigate themselves when they get to their base, their home. Yes, so we have all of these artificial health orthopedics.
Then another good thing about artificial health is that all our machines are from Orthobox.
Number one.
All our
standard.
All our tools, everything is from
equipment.
Orthobox in Germany.
And we know Orthobox is the leading power of prosthetics in the world. And yes, they are so representative here in Nigeria.
Alright, just to add to that, just imagine, I want to take a scenario. Someone comes to the clinic being carried on a wheelchair. You enter. But after doing all our magic, some people call us magicians.
Yes.
So after doing the magic, the person is walking out and people are running after. Wait now. Wait now. This was the person that you carried just 3 days ago or just 2 weeks ago. But now the person is back. So that seeing the joy, or someone, there was a patient then that we fitted with upper limb. The dream of this guy is just to shake. He has been seen on TV, seeing his friend, shaking, greeting. He was like, God, when will I even shake? Just imagine getting a device and the person was like, how are you? That's just the joy. So seeing this alone is rewarding.
Prosthetists, very good.
So that is quite. So thank you once again for listening to us. Thank you for our experts, our CPO Paul, CPO Emmanuel, for sharing your knowledge, your experience, and giving more insights to what most people might not be aware. Again, to our listeners, this has been another episode of Beyond the Limb podcast by Ifian Health. Again, I always say, please go to our YouTube handle, Ifian Health Orthopedics, and like and follow and subscribe. Is there anything you want to tell the audience now? This might be the best time to just say it.
We look forward to seeing more. Just subscribe, and definitely we hear more from us. And if you have any questions, please, you can always reach out, ask, and we'll make sure that we answer every of your concerns or questions.
Come on, go. Beyond the Limb!